हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल द सोलफुल डायरी। आज के वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट की पोम राबी बेन एजरा के बारे में। पोएट के बारे में हम पहले ही डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, जिसका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में है। चलिए आज पोम के बारे में डिस्कस करते हैं। द पोएट टॉक्स अबाउट aging, wisdom, urges, surrender to divine plan, embracing life's imperfections for spiritual refinement. It delves into the themes of aging, purpose, and spiritual growth. The poem presents the wisdom of Rabbi Ben Ezra, urging acceptance of life's imperfections and trust in a divine plan. Through vivid imagery and philosophical reflections, Browning explored the human journey from youth to old age, emphasizing the importance of embracing challenges and finding meaning in life's trials. The poem encourages readers to seek spiritual growth and fulfillment by surrendering to a higher power and accepting the cyclical nature of existence. It is a reflective poem that explores the themes of aging, the purpose of life, and the relationship between the physical and spiritual aspects of human existence. The poem is written as a monologue by Rabbi Ben Ezra, a medieval Jewish scholar and philosopher, addressing his younger wife. The poem begins with a call to grow old along with me and expresses the belief that the best part of life is yet to come. It suggests that the purpose of life lies in its culmination, with the later stages being the fulfillment of the initial design. The speaker emphasizes the idea that God has a plan for each individual and encourages trust in God's wisdom. As the poem unfolds, Rabbi Ben Ezra reflects on the transient nature of youth and the futility of pursuing worldly pleasures. He dismisses the superficial desire of youth, such as accumulating flowers or admiring stars, and acknowledges the limitations of the physical body. The speaker challenges the notion that life's value is solely derived from pleasure, asserting that the connection with the God is more significant. The poem celebrates the paradox of life, suggesting that even apparent failures contribute to overall success. He finds solace in the realization that what he aspired to be but could not achieve still provides comfort. The poem contrasts the brute existence driven by physical desires with the elevated state of aligning with God's plan. The speaker welcomes the challenges and setbacks, seeing them as opportunities for growth and learning. The idea of embracing pain and difficulties is presented as a means of achieving a deeper understanding of life and God's purpose. Rabbi Ben Ezra views life as a journey where every experience, positive or negative, contributes to the ultimate wisdom. The poem concludes with a plea for divine guidance and acceptance of God's plan. Rabbi Ben Ezra expresses gratitude for the gift of life and opportunity to evolve beyond a mere mortal existence. The final lines convey a sense of readiness for the next adventure, suggesting that death is not to be feared but embraced as a continuation of the soul's journey. The last of life, for which the first was mad. Our times are in his hand, who set a whole plan. Youth shows but half. Trust God, see all, nor be afraid. Old, along with me, the best is yet to be, opens Robert Browning's Rabbi Ben Ezra with an invitation to embrace the inevitability of aging, presenting it as a journey of continuous improvement and fulfillment. The speaker, possibly embodying the wisdom of Rabbi Ben Ezra, expresses optimism about the later stages of life, suggesting that they hold the true essence and purpose for which existence was initiated. The idea that the last of life for which the first was made implies a deliberate design and the course of human life, where the ultimate fulfillment is reserved for the concluding chapters. Browning introduces a sense of divine guidance, emphasizing that our times are in his hand. This not only underscores the speaker's trust in a higher power but also introduces a thematic thread of surrendering to a greater plan. The stanza concludes with a directive to trust God and see all, nor be afraid. This advice encourages a holistic perspective on life, urging the reader to embrace both the joys and challenges that come with each stage. The phrase shows but half suggests that the exuberance and vigor of youth only reveal a portion of life's grand design. The call to trust in God and to fear not implies a surrender to the unknown, urging the reader to approach the unfolding of life with faith and courage. In this opening stanza, Browning establishes the central theme of the poem, a philosophical reflection on the purpose of life, the inevitability of aging, and the significance of placing trust in a higher power. The stanza's language, with its simplicity and depth, sets the tone for the contemplative and optimistic exploration that follows in the subsequent lines of the Rabbi Ben Ezra. Stanza 2. Not that amassing flowers, youth sighed, which rose make ours, which lily leave, and then, as best recall, not that admiring stars, Atheon, nor Jove, nor Mars. Mine be some figured flame which blends, transcends them all. In the stanza, the poet shifts the focus from the superficial pursuits of youth to the deeper desires and aspirations that define one's connection with the universe. The speaker dismisses the trivial concerns of youth, symbolized by the act of amassing flowers. It represents the fleeting nature of romantic and materialistic endeavors. The rhetorical question, which rose make ours which lily leaf and then as best recall, highlights the transitory nature of youthful choices and suggests that the speaker's disillusionment with the ephemeral pursuits of love and beauty. The stanza continues with a rejection of the conventional desires associated with youth, such as the admiration of stars and the yearning for association with the celestial bodies like Jove nor Mars. Instead, the speaker expresses a more profound longing for a personal and transcendent flame that goes beyond the individual allure of specific stars. The phrase might be some figured flame which blends, transcends them all, and encapsulates the speaker's desire for unique symbolic existence that surpasses the mundane and reaches for a spiritual connection with the universe. Drowning through the stanza critiques the shallow preoccupations of youth, encouraging a shift towards aspirations that transcend the temporal and seek a more profound, enduring significance in the grander cosmic scheme. 3. Not for such hopes and fears, annulling youth's brief years. Do I remonstrate folly by the mark? Rather apprise the doubt low kinds exist without, finished and finite thoughts, untroubled by a spark. The poet here takes a critical stance on the conventional hopes and fears associated with the youth, disavowing them as distractions from life's true purpose. The speaker dismisses these concerns as inconsequential, using the phrase folly by the mark to suggest that such pursuits might miss the deeper meaning of existence. There's an acknowledgement of the brevity of youth hinted at with annulling youth brief years, reinforcing the idea that dwelling on trivial concerns during this fleeting phase is productive. Browning introduces the concept of doubt as something to be prized rather than feared. The speaker values uncertainty over the simplistic and unreflective existence of low kinds who lack the capacity for doubt. The contrast is drawn between those who are finished and finite clothes untroubled by a spark, and the speaker who appreciates the complexities and uncertainties that come with a thoughtful, questioning mind. The stanza encourages a rejection of the shallow pursuits of youth, in favor of a more profound engagement with life, one that involves questioning doubt and embracing the richness that comes with the intellectual and spiritual curiosity. Browning through the stanza champions the idea that a life without doubt and contemplation is an existence lacking in depth and meaning. Stanza 4. Poor want of life indeed, for man but form to feed on joy, to solely seek and find and feast. Such feasting ended then, assured an end to men. Ergs care the cropful bird, frets doubt the more cramped beast. The stanza says the poet critiquing the notion that the sole purpose of human existence is to pursue pleasure and indulge in the constant pursuit of joy. Browning employs the phrase for want of life indeed to express the inadequacy and shallowness of a life solely dedicated to hedonistic pleasures. The speaker challenges the idea that if life were merely about seeking and feasting on joy, it would render existence hollow and fulfilling. Rhetorical question irks scared the crop full bird, frets doubt the more cramped beast, highlights the inherent dissatisfaction that arises when one's pursuits are solely focused on satiating physical desire. Browning encourages contemplation on the nature of fulfillment, suggesting that a life centered on pleasure seeking lacks the depth that comes from facing challenges and engaging with the complexities of human experience. The stanza prompts the reader to question the purpose of a life driven solely by the pursuit of joy, challenging the notion that constant indulgence in pleasure leads to lasting contentment. Through this critique, Brown invites a re-evaluation of values, advocating for a more nuanced and thoughtful approach to life that goes beyond mere hedonism. The use of vivid imagery such as the drop crop full bird and a more cramped beast reinforces the idea that excessive indulgence in pleasure may lead to a sense of stagnation and discontent. Stanza 5. Rejoice, we are allied to that which doth provide, and not partake, affect, and not receive. A spark disturbs our clod, nearer behold of God, who gives than of his stripes that take, I must believe. The poet delves into a profound exploration of the relationship between humanity and the divine. Browning encourages a celebration of the human connection with a higher power, expressing joy in being allied to that which doth provide and not partake, affect and not receive. The language emphasizes a partnership with the divine, suggesting that humans play a role in the grand design of existence. The notion of not parting but providing implies a sense of agency and contribution to the world, positioning humans as as active participants in the unfolding of divine purpose. Browning employs the metaphor of a spark disturbing the cloth, symbolizing the divine essence within the human form. The use of cloth conveys the earthly nature of human existence, while the spark represents the divine spark within. The idea that nearer we hold of God who gives than of his stripes that take, I must believe, emphasizes the intimacy of a human connection with the divine. Browning introduces a hierarchy suggesting that being closer to God involves giving rather than taking, underlining the importance of generosity, creation, and positive contribution to the divine order. The stanza serves as a spiritual affirmation, inviting readers to recognize their inherent connection with a higher purpose and to find fulfillment and contributing to the greater good. Through these lines, Browning advocates for a spiritual awareness that transcends mere consumption, and reception, emphasizing the profound impact of giving and creating an alignment with the divine. Stanza 6. Then welcome each rebuff that turns earth's smoothness rough, each thing that bids nor sit, stand but go. Be our joys, three parts be strive, and hold cheap the strain. Learn nor account the pang, dare never grudge the true. In the stanza, the poet urges readers to embrace adversity and challenges as integral components of a meaningful and purposeful life. Browning introduces the idea of welcoming each rebuff that disrupts the smoothness of earthly existence. Use of rebukes implies setbacks or obstacles, and by advocating their welcome, Browning suggests that these challenges are not hindrances but opportunities for growth. The notion that these rebukes turn Earth's smoothness rough metaphorically portrays the transformative nature of difficulties in shaping a more textured and profound life experience. It employs vivid imagery with the lines be our joys, three part pains, strive and hold cheap the strain, learn nor account the pang, dare never grudge the true. The poet advocates for a recalibration of the relationship between joy and pain, suggesting that a life well lived should consist of joys that are three parts pain. This concept challenges the conventional pursuit of unmitigated happiness and emphasizes the idea that the struggle, strain, and even pain are essential components of a fulfilled existence. The use of imperatives such as strive, learn, and dare underscores the active engagement requirement required to navigate life's challenges. Browning encourages the readers to not only embrace difficulties but to hold them in low regard, to learn from them without dwelling on the suffering, and to face challenges with courage and a willingness to endure. Through the stanza, Browning constructs a compelling argument for the intrinsic value of life's trial, positioning them as catalysts for personal development and resilience. What ends a paradox which comforts while it mocks? Shall life succeed in that it seems to fail? What I aspired to be and was not comforts me. A brute I might have been, but would not sing either scale. Poet introduces a paradoxical perspective on success and failure, suggesting that what appears as failure can in fact lead to a deeper form of success. The paradox is framed as a source of comfort, despite its mocking undertones, challenging conventional notion of achievement. Browning explores the idea that life may succeed in ways that are not immediately apparent or aligned with individual aspirations. The paradox is encapsulated in the lines shall life succeed in that it seems to fill what I aspire to be and was not comforts me. They find solace in the realization that what they aspire to be but could not achieve provides a unique form of comfort. The acknowledgement that a brute I might have been but would not sing I the scale underscores the refusal to succumb to a base existence. The poet suggests that the speaker, despite falling short of certain aspirations, has risen above a potential brute existence, choosing a higher moral and spiritual ground. The stanza encourages readers to reconsider the definitions of success and failure, positioning that personal growth and avoidance of moral degradation contribute to a form of success that transcends individual ambitions. Through the paradoxical lens, Browning challenges societal norms and values, promoting a more nuanced understanding of accomplishment and fulfillment in life. Stands out, what is he but a brute, whose flesh has soul to suit, whose spirit works, lest arms and legs won't play. To man propose the stress, the body at its best. How far can that project thy soul on its lone way? Poet introduces a contemplation on the integrate relationship between the physical and spiritual aspects of human existence. The stanza begins with a rhetorical question: what is he but a blue challenging the notion that a person is reduced to a mere animal when the connection between the flesh and the soul is superficial. Browning suggests that true humanity lies in the harmonious integration of the body and soul, emphasizing the role of the spirit in animating the physical form. The phrase, whose flesh has soul to soothe, implies that the soul should be in harmony with the body, and the subsequent line emphasizes the active role of the spirit in preventing the body from becoming stagnant or purely instinctual. Stanza possesses a test to humanity, asking individuals to consider their physicality at its prime and challenging them to explore the extent to which the body can propel the soul on its solitary journey. Browning introduces a dichotomy between the tangible corporeal self and the intangible spiritual essence. The question, how far can that traject thy soul on its lone way, prompts reflection on the depth and expansiveness of the soul's journey, emphasizing the need for a holistic approach to human experience. Through these lines, Browning invites readers to assess the synergy between their physical and spiritual dimensions, advocating for a balance that propels the soul towards individual growth and self discovery. The stanza encourages a nuanced understanding of the human condition, emphasizing the interconnectedness of the corporeal and spiritual realms and the profound potential that arises from their harmonious integration. Stanza 9. Yet gifts should prove their use. I own the past profuse of bar each side, perfection every turn. Eyes, ears took in their dole, brain treasured of the whole. Should not the heart beat once? How good to live and learn. Stanza shows the poet contemplating the purpose and utility of the gifts bestowed upon humanity, particularly the faculties of perception and intellect. Browning opens the stanza with a reflection on the efficacy of these gifts, suggesting that they should demonstrate their usefulness in the context of human life. The phrase, yet gift should prove their use, implies an expectation that the endowed abilities of human beings serve a meaningful purpose. The poet acknowledges the abundance of these gifts in the past, describing them as profuse and highlighting their potential for power and perfection in various aspects of life. Stanza continues with a reflection on the past, emphasizing the role of sensory perception and intellectual capacity. The eyes and ears are portrayed as active recipients of their respective tools, suggesting a measure of provision or allotment. Meanwhile, the brain is described as a repository treasuring the entirety of the experiences gathered through these senses. The poet concludes the stanza with a rhetorical question. Should not the heart beat once? How good to live and learn. Here the heart symbolizes the seat of emotion and appreciation, and the poet prompts contemplation on the inherent goodness of living and learning. This line encapsulates Browning's celebration of the human capacity to experience, assimilate, and appreciate the richness of life through the acquisition of knowledge. The stanza encourages readers to recognize the value of their intellectual and sensory endowments and to find joy in the continuous process of living and learning. Stanza 10. Not once beat, praised by thine. I see the whole design. I who saw power see now love perfect too. Perfect I call thy plan. Thanks that I was a man. Maker, remake, complete. I trust what thou shalt do. 10th stanza. The speaker undergoes a profound shift in perspective, transitioning from a focus on intellectual and sensory gifts to a recognition of a divine plan that encompasses both power and love. The stanza begins with the assertion that the heart should not beat on an acknowledgement of intellectual accomplishments but should also resonate with gratitude and praise for a more profound understanding of existence. Speaker expresses a newfound insight into the whole design of life, recognizing a synthesis of power and love that transcends the mere acquisition of knowledge. The acknowledgement of love as perfect complements the earlier emphasis on power, suggesting a harmonious balance in the divine plan. The speaker's gratitude is palpable in the lines, "Perfect I call thy plan. Thanks that I was a man." Here there is a deep sense of appreciation for the human experience seen as an integral part of a divine design. Speaker addresses the divine directly, expressing trust in the unfolding of the plan with the words, "Maker, remake, complete, I trust what thou shalt do." This prayer signifies a surrender to the divine will, acknowledging a sense of incompleteness in the human state of under reliance on the divine force to shape and fulfill the speaker's destiny. Drowning through the stanza elevates the contemplation from the intellectual and sensory aspect of human existence to a spiritual appreciation of the divine plan, fostering an attitude of gratitude and trust in the larger scheme of heaven. For pleasant is this flesh, our soul, in its rose mesh, pulled over ever to the earth, still yearns for rest. Would we some prize might hold, to match those manifold possessions of the brute, gain most as we did best. Poet contemplates the duality of the human experience, acknowledging both the pleasure derived from the physicality of the flesh and the perpetual of the soul for a higher transcendent rest. Browning introduces the stanza with the declaration that the flesh is pleasant, acknowledging the sensory and corporeal delights inherent in human existence. The metaphor of the soul being pulled ever to the earth suggests a gravitational force tethering the soul to the material world, emphasizing the earthly nature of the human experience. However, the stanza takes a poignant turn as Browning delves into the soul's unceasing yearning for a more profound sense of fulfillment. The speaker expresses a desire for a prize that could match the possessions of the brute, a recognition of the simplicity and contentment found in the animal kingdom. The phrase "gain most as we did best" suggests a reflection on the pursuit of the prize that aligns with the fundamental and instinctive aspects of human nature. Browning captures the complexity of human desires, acknowledging the pleasure derived from the physical realm while also highlighting the soul's innate quest for a spiritual and metaphysical reward. Through this, Browning invites readers to grapple with the paradoxical nature of human aspirations, recognizing the interplay between the earthly delights and the eternal yearnings that define the human condition. Stanza 12. Let us not always say, "Spite of this flesh today, I straw made head, gained ground upon the whole," as the bird wings and sings. Let us cry, all good things are ours, nor soul helps flesh more, nor than flesh helps soul. In this stanza, the poet offers a nuanced perspective on the relationship between the spiritual and physical aspects of human existence. Browning begins by challenging the inclination to consistently lament the limitations of the flesh. The speaker urges against the perpetual attitude of saying, "Spite of this flesh today, I strove, made head, gain ground upon the whole." This suggests a common tendency to view the physical aspects of life as hindrances or obstacles to spiritual progress. Browning encourages a shift in perspective, moving away from constant strife against the flesh. This stanza takes a more positive turn as Browning employs the metaphor of a bird to convey a sense of harmony between the soul and the flesh. Drawing on the imagery of a bird that wings and sings, the speaker invites readers to embrace a more joyful and integrated approach to life. The call to cry out, "All good things are ours, nor souls helps flesh more, now than flesh helps soul," emphasizes a reciprocal relationship between the physical and spiritual dimensions. Here, Browning challenges the dualistic view that pits the soul against the flesh, suggesting that both aspects contribute to the richness of human experience. This stanza advocates for a harmonious coexistence where the achievements of the flesh are celebrated as integral to the overall well being of the soul, promoting a more balanced and appreciative understanding of the human condition. 13. Therefore I summon age to grant youth's heritage. Life struggle, having so far reached its term, thence shall I pass approved, man for air removed, from the developed brute, a god true in the germ. The poet invokes the concept of aging and the culmination of life struggle as a transformative process leading to a distinct sense of self. Browning introduces the idea of summoning age, envisioning it as a granting of youth's heritage. The speaker reflects on the progression of life struggle, implying that the challenges encountered over time contribute to the development and refinement of one's character. The use of the phrase life struggle, having so far reached its term, suggests a sense of completion or fulfillment in the face of a lifetime of experiences and obstacles. Browning's depiction of the speaker passing from the struggles of life to being approved a man, for a removed from the developed brute, a god though in the germ encapsulates a profound transition from the limitations of the brute, representing a more primal and instinctive existence, to a state of being approved as a man signifies a progression towards a higher form of consciousness. The use of the term a god, though in the germ, adds a spiritual dimension, suggesting that the aging process and life struggle contribute to the emergence of a divine essence within the individual. Through this stanza, Browning explores the concept of age as a catalyst for personal evolution, portraying it as a stage where one transcends the more rudimentary aspects of existence and begins to embody a godlike potential in its early stages of development. The 14. And I shall thereupon take rest ere I be gone once more on my adventure, brave and new, fearless and unperplexed. When I wage battle next, what weapons to select, what armor to endure. Stanza sees the exploration of the contemplation of rest as a precursor to the next phase of life's journey. Browning speaker envisions a moment of repose, anticipating a pause before embarking on a new and courageous adventure. The phrase, and I shall thereupon take rest ere I be gone, suggests a deliberate pause in the narrative of life, a moment to reflect and recharge before the next chapter unfolds. This emphasis on taking rest underscores the importance of rejuvenation and introspection in preparing for future challenges. The speaker portrays this upcoming adventure as brave and new, signaling an openness to novel experiences and a fearless approach to the uncertainties that lie ahead. The term fearless and unperplexed captured a spirit of boldness and clarity, reflecting the speaker's readiness to confront whatever comes next with courage and a lack of confusion. Concluding lines, when I wage battle next, what weapon to select, what armament to endure, encapsulate the strategic and intentional nature of the speaker's approach to life. Browning invites readers to consider life as a series of battles, each requiring careful consideration of the tools and defenses to be employed. The stanza encourages a mindset of preparation and courage, emphasizing the need for periodic rest as an essential element in the perpetual cycle of facing and overcoming life's challenges. 15. Youth ended, I shall try my gain or loss thereby, leave the fire ashes. Survives the cold, and I shall weigh the same, give life its praise or blame. Young, All lay in dispute, I shall know, being gold. Here the poet addresses the inevitability of aging and a retrospective assessment of a life lived. The speaker acknowledges the conclusion of youth and anticipates the impending evaluation of life's experiences. The lines, youth ended, I shall try, my gain or loss thereby, convey a sense of maturity and self reflection. Browning introduces the metaphor of leaving the fire ashes, symbolizing the passing of time and experiences. The idea that what survives is gold suggests a distillation of the valuable and enduring elements from the fleeting moments of life, emphasizing the importance of extracting meaning from the passage of time. The stanza concludes with the speaker expressing an intention to weigh the experiences of life, give life its praise or blame. The act of weighing implies a thoughtful and measured evaluation of the choices, actions, and outcomes of a lifetime. Browning encapsulates the transformation from the contentious nature of youth, where everything lay in dispute, to the wisdom and clarity that comes with it. The declaration I shall know, being old, signifies an anticipation of acquiring a profound understanding of life's complexities, allowing the speaker to pass judgment on the merits and shortcomings of their journey. Through the stanza, Browning invites readers to consider the inherent value of experiences, emphasizing the significance of reflection and wisdom that come with the passage of time. Stanza 16. For note when evening shuts, a certain moment cuts the deed off, calls the glory from the grey, a whisper from the west shoots. Add this to the rest, take it and try its worth. Here dies another day. The stanza paints a vivid picture of the passage of time through the metaphor of evening and the closing moments of a day. Browning introduces the idea that when evening arrives, a specific moment delineates the conclusion of deeds and calls for the essence of glory from the fading daylight. The concept of a certain moment cutting off the deed and summoning the glory symbolizes the significance of specific instances in one's life, suggesting that each action or decision is encapsulated within a finite time frame, leaving an imprint that transcends the immediate circumstances. The use of the glory from the Greek creates a visual and emotional contrast, underscoring the idea that even in the fading light there exists a residual brilliance to be acknowledged and valued. The stanza continues with the personification of the evening through the whispered message from the west, conveying a sense of closure and reflection. The line shoots at this to the rest, take it and try its worth. Here dies another day encapsulates a poignant moment of reckoning. The act of adding or the day's experiences to the collective whole and testing their worth implies a continual evaluation of life's moments. Browning masterfully captures the cyclical nature of life, where each day concludes, inviting introspection and assessment. Through the stanza, the poet prompts readers to consider the significance of fleeting moments, encouraging a reflective stance towards the passing of time and the continual pursuit of understanding life's worth through the accumulation of experiences. 17. So still within this life, though lifted over its strife, let me discern, compare, pronounce at last, this rage was right. I the main that since vain. The future I may face now, I have proved the past. This stanza reflects on the ongoing journey within the current span of life while simultaneously transcending its struggles. The speaker expresses a desire to maintain a detached yet insightful perspective, being still within this life but lifted over its strife. This suggests a yearning for an elevated viewpoint that allows for discernment and clarity, rising above the tumultuous aspects of earthly existence. Browning introduces the themes of discernment, comparison, and final pronouncement, indicating a process of thoughtful evaluation and judgment. Answer concludes with a decisive declaration regarding the past and the future. The speaker asserts this rage was right at the main Tarquinian's vein, implying a retrospective recognition of the righteousness of certain passionate struggles in contrast to the futility of resigned acceptance. The use of the term range suggests a fervent and perhaps turbulent engagement with life, acknowledging the validity of past emotional upheavals. The speaker then expresses a readiness to confront the future with a newfound understanding, stating, "The future I may face now, I have proved the past." This line encapsulates a sense of empowerment derived from the wisdom gained through navigating the complexities of the past. Browning, through this stanza, encourages readers to engage with life's challenges passionately, discern the lessons embedded in the tumult, and use that understanding as a foundation for facing the uncertainties of the future with newfound confidence and wisdom. Anxiety, for more is not reserved to man but soul, just now to act tomorrow what he learns today. Here, work enough to watch the master work and catch hints of the proper craft, tricks of the tools through play. Poet contemplates the nature of human existence and the perpetual quest for knowledge and mastery. Browning begins by asserting that more is not reserved for man, even with a soul newly invigorated, than the ability to apply what is learned today to actions tomorrow. The statement reflects a pragmatic approach to life, emphasizing the continuous cycle of learning and applying that knowledge is in the ongoing pursuit of growth and mastery. The choice of the phrase "soul just nerved" suggests a readiness and fortitude to face the challenges of each new day. The stanza continues with the speaker directing attention to the act of observation and learning from a higher power, referred to as the master. The notion of work enough to watch the master work conveys a sense of humility and recognition that there is much to be gained from observing the divine or a higher intelligence at play in the world. The use of catch hints of the proper craft, tricks of the tools through play implies that the human experience involves not only diligent observation but also active participation in deciphering the subtleties and intricacies of life's working. Through the stanza, Browning encourages readers to adopt a humble yet attentive stance towards life, understanding that there is perpetual work in observing and learning from a higher source, and that the tools of life's craft hold their true essence in the artful play revealed through continuous exploration and engagement. Then, as it was, better youth should strive through acts uncouth toward making than repose on aught found made. So better age, exempt from strife, should know, then tempt further. Thou waitest age, wait death, nor be afraid. This stanza explores the contrasting attitudes toward life's pursuit in youth and old age. Browning begins by asserting that it was better for youth to strive through acts uncouth, emphasizing the value of the youthful journey toward creation rather than complacently resting on pre existing achievements. The use of uncouth suggests a raw and unrefined nature to the actions of youth, portraying the messy yet essential process of growth through hands on experiences. Browning advocates for the active engagement of youth in the act of making, suggesting that the journey of self discovery and contribution to the world is more valuable than passively accepting what is already made. The stanza then shifts its focus to old age, proposing that similarly it is better for the aged to be exempt from strife and instead to seek knowledge. Browning encourages the elderly to know rather than to be tempted further, presenting a contrast to the active striving of youth. The phrase "thou wadest age, wait death, nor be afraid" suggests a patient and contemplative approach to the later stages of life. Browning urges the aged to patiently await death without fear, suggesting that this stage should be marked by a serene acceptance of life's culmination. Through this stanza, Browning delves into the philosophical perspective, the different roles and values assigned to various stages of life, emphasizing the virtues of both active creation in youth and reflective knowledge seeking in old age. Stanza 20. Enough now. If the right and good and finite be named here, as thou callest thy hand thine own, with knowledge absolute, subject to no dispute, from fools that crowded youth, nor let thee feel alone. Poet here delves into a philosophical exploration of righteousness, goodness, and the finite. Browning introduces the idea that naming the right, the good, and the infinite is sufficient for the speaker at this juncture. The use of enough now suggests a contented acceptance of these overarching principles, emphasizing a sense of fulfillment and completion is in acknowledging fundamental virtue. The naming of these idols is presented as an act of possession as the speaker calms their anxieties by affirming that these principles are within reach and can be considered as one would claim ownership of one's own hand. The stanza further emphasizes the notion of possessing knowledge absolute, free from dispute. The speaker seeks a state of certainty and conviction, aiming to shield oneself from the opinions of fools who may have crowded the landscape of youth. Browning introduces an element of solitude, highlighting the desire to escape the influence of misguided perspective that might disrupt the clarity of the speaker's understanding. Through this stanza, Browning grapples with the quest for certainty and a sense of possession over moral and metaphysical truths, emphasizing the importance of finding solace in these principles despite the potential conflicts and uncertainties posed by the external world. And everyone, be there for once and all severed great minds from small, announced to each station in the past. Was I the world arranged? Were they my soul disdained? Right, let it speak the truth and give us peace at last. The poet is dichotomy between great minds and small minds, delving into the theme of individual significance within the grand tapestry of history. Browning calls for a decisive separation of great minds from small ones, urging a clear demarcation of each individual's station in the past. The tone is assertive, demanding a categorical distinction that would allow each mind to claim its place in the historical continuum. This notion prompts a reflection on the impact of one's life and thoughts within the broader context of human history. The poet then presents a personal contemplation where the speaker questions whether the world arranged them or the soul was disdained. The use of right conveys a sense of seeking validation and moral judgment. Browning introduces the element of each as a discerning voice that can speak the truth and potentially bring peace. Clear for age to speak the truth signifies a desire for clarity and resolution regarding the birth and significance of individual lives. The final line, let age speak the truth and give us peace at last, encapsulates a yearning for a reconciling perspective that can bring closure and tranquility in understanding the roles and judgments assigned to various minds in the grand narrative of human existence. Through the stanza, Browning engages with themes of individual legacy, historical judgment, and the quest for peace through a comprehensive understanding of one's place in the world. Stanza 22. Now we who shall arbitrate? 10 men love what I hate, shun what I follow, slight what I receive. 10 who in ears and eyes match me, we all surmise they this thing, and I that whom shall my soul believe? In the 20th stanza, the poet confronts the challenge of conflicting perspectives and the subjective nature of individual beliefs. Browning introduces the question of arbitration, highlighting the difficulty of finding a neutral and objective judge to settle differences. Speaker contemplates the diversity of opinions and preferences, presenting a scenario where 10 individuals appreciate what the speaker detests, avoid what the speaker pursues, and belittle what the speaker values. The use of we all surmise implies a shared recognition of the divergence in viewpoints, acknowledging the inherent subjectivity in human perception. The stanza encapsulates a profound sense of existential uncertainty as the speaker grapples with the question, whom shall my soul believe? Browning introduces the soul as the arbiter of truth, emphasizing the internal struggle to discern and align with beliefs that resonate on a deeper, more profound level. The notion of conflicting perspectives and the difficulty of finding a singular truth resonates universally, inviting readers to reflect on the challenges of navigating divergent opinions and determining one's own authentic beliefs amidst the complexity of human experience. Through this stanza, Browning captures the essence of the human condition, marked by the perpetual quest for meaning and understanding in a world where truths are often subjective and elusive. They train not on the vulgar mass called work, must sentence pass. Things done that took the eye and had the prize over which, from level stand, the low world led its hand, found straight away to its mind good value in a trice. Here, the poet delves into the theme of societal judgment and evaluation of human endeavors. Browning introduces the term vulgar mass to denote the general public or common perception. The speaker challenges the notion that judgment should be passed on what is commonly referred to as work. The use of vulgar carries a nuisance meaning, suggesting both the commonality and perhaps the lack of refinement in a mass perspective. Browning critiques the tendency to assess actions solely based on their apparent utility of or commercial value, indicating a deeper exploration of the intrinsic worth of human endeavors beyond their immediate tangible outcomes. Poet then paints a vivid picture of the low world laying its hand over things done, symbolizing a collective societal judgment. The notion of the low world finding value in a trice implies a swift and often superficial evaluation influenced by societal norms and immediate visible outcomes. The use of level stands suggests that a flat and unnuanced perspective that fails to appreciate the intricacies and depths of human achievements. Through the stanza, Browning prompts reader to consider societal standards of success and value, encouraging a more thoughtful and nuanced assessment of human endeavors that goes beyond immediate visibility and monetary worth. The speaker challenges the prevailing notion of work being judged by its external material outcomes and advocates for a more profound understanding of the inherent values in the human actions and creations. Stanza 24. But all the world's coarse thumb and finger failed to plumb, so past in making up the main account, all instincts immature, all purposes unsure, that weighed not as his work, yet swell the man's amount. It contemplates the limitations of societal judgment using the metaphor of the world's coarse thumb and finger failing to plumb the depth of human endeavors. Browning employs tactile imagery to convey the inadequacy of societal assessment, portraying the world's attempt to measure the value of human actions as crude and insufficient. The use of course implies a lack of finesse and sensitivity in the world's evaluation, emphasizing the world's inability to grasp the intricacies and complexities inherent in human achievements. The stanza then unfolds with a reflection on the aspects that elude the world's judgment, instincts, and purposes that are immature and unsure. Browning contends that these elements, is not quantifiable in the world's eyes, contribute significantly to the overall worth of a person. The phrase swell the man's amount conveys the idea that these less tangible and measurable qualities, though seemingly insignificant to external observers, play a crucial role in defining the essence of an individual. Through the stanza, Browning challenges societal norms that prioritize visible and tangible outcomes, urging readers to recognize the significance of internal qualities that shape one's character and contribute to the overall value of a person's life. It serves as a poignant reminder of the inadequacy of external judgment in capturing the full scope of human experience and achievement. Sunset 25. Thoughts hardly to be packed into a narrow act, fancies that broke through language and escaped. All I could never be, all men ignored in me. This I was worth to God, whose wheel the picture shaped. The stanza reflects on the expansive nature of human thoughts and the challenges of encapsulating profound ideas into concrete actions. Browning introduces the notion of thoughts that are hardly to be packed into a narrow act, emphasizing the difficulty of translating complex and intricate mental processes into tangible deeds. The use of narrow acts suggests the constraints of physical expression and the limitations in manifesting the richness of one's internal world through external actions. This notion encourages contemplation on the expansive nature of the human mind and the intricate complexities that often elude simple articulation or enactment. The stanza unfolds with the exploration of fancies that transcend language and escape conventional forms of expression. Browning portrays the elusive nature of ideas that break through linguistic confines, suggesting the ineffability of certain thoughts and the challenge of capturing their essence within the limitations of language. The poet then delves into the personal dimension, expressing the sentiment that all the speaker could never be and the aspect ignored by others comprised the worth assigned to him by God. The metaphor of God shaping the wheel and the picture underscores the idea that the divine force recognizes and assigns value to the entirety of the speaker's being, encompassing unspoken thoughts, unfulfilled potentials, and unnoticed qualities. Through the stanza, Browning invites readers to contemplate the inherent worth of each individual in the eyes of a higher power, emphasizing the depth and intricacy of the human experience that extends beyond the visible and measurable. Stanza 26. A note that potter's wheel, that metaphor and feel, why time spins fast, why passive lies are clear, thou to whom fools bound, when the wine makes it drown, since life fleets, all is changed, the past gone, sees today. The poet introduces the metaphor of the potter's wheel, prompting contemplation on the nature of time and the transient quality of human existence. Browning invites readers to take note of the potter's wheel, a symbol of creation and the shaping of clay. The use of metaphor indicates that the potter's wheel serves as a symbolic representation, urging readers to explore its deeper meaning. The poet encourages readers to feel the essence behind this metaphor, inviting an emotional and introspective engagement with the concept of time. The stanza unfolds with a reflection on the swift passage of time and the apparent passivity of human beings represented by the term clay. Browning suggests that our existence is akin to passive clay being molded by the potter's wheel of time. This metaphorical imagery prompts readers to consider the inevitability of change and the rapidity with which time unfolds. The poet addresses the reader directly using the second person thou and refers to those who might dismissively assert that life is fleeting, everything is in constant flux, and the past is gone. The exhortation to seize today echoes the theme of Carpe Diem, urging readers to embrace the present moment amid the relentless flow of time. Through the stanza, Browning provides a contemplative lens on the temporal nature of human life, employing the potter's wheel as a potent symbol that encapsulates the perpetual cycle of creation, change, and the imperative to seize the fleeting present. The 27 Fool, all that is at all lasts ever past recall. Earth changes, but thy soul and God stand sure. What entered into thee, that was is and shall be. Time's wheel runs back or stops, potter and clay endure. Poet rebukes the notion that everything is transient and subject to change. The speaker addresses the reader with the exclamation "Fool," challenging the perspective that dismisses the enduring nature of certain elements. Browning asserts that all that exists in any form possesses a lasting quality beyond the immediate grasp of time. The use of last ever past recall emphasizes the permanence of certain aspects, countering the prevailing sentiment that everything is fleeting. This defiance against the ephemeral nature of life is heightened with the assertion that while the earth undergoes transformations, the soul and God remain steadfast and immutable. Stanza further explores the idea that what becomes a part of an individual endures eternally. Browning introduces the concept that what entered into the essence of a person persists across time. This notion aligns with the earlier metaphor of the potter's wheel, suggesting that the shaping influence on the clay endures, emphasizing continuity and the lasting impact of experiences on the soul. The assertion that potter and clay endure reinforces the idea that the relationship between the creator and the created God and the individual soul stands the test of time. Through the stanza, Browning presents a resolute affirmation of the enduring nature of certain elements, challenging the superficial understanding that everything is subject to change and reinforcing the timeless connection between the divine and human spirit. Stanza 28. He fixed the mid-distance of plastic circumstance. This present house, forsooth, wouldst fain arrest. Machinery just meant to give thy soul its bend. Try thee and turn thee forth, sufficiently impressed. The poet explores the concept of human existence within context of the ever-changing and dynamic nature of life. The speaker describes life as a dance of plastic circumstance, portraying the malleability and fluidity of the present moment. Browning uses the term plastic circumstance to convey the idea that life is shaped by external forces and is inherently adaptable. The use of dance suggests a rhythmic and choreographed movement of existence, highlighting the interconnectedness of individuals with the larger unfolding of events. The stanza unfolds with the speaker addressing the reader directly, admonishing the desire to arrest the present. Browning employs the term machinery to describe the processes of life, portraying them as mechanisms designed to shape and mold the individual. The phrase, just meant to give thy soul its bend, suggests that the challenges and experiences of life are designed to shape and define one's character. The poet introduces the idea that life's machinery tries and turns individuals forth, leaving them sufficiently impressed with the indelible mark of experience. The stanza Browning encourages a recognition of the ongoing dance of life, emphasizing the inevitability of change, the transformative power of experiences that shape the soul, the admonition against attempting to rest the present underscores the dynamic nature of existence, urging readers to embrace the continual flow of life's dance. The 29. What though the earlier grooves which ran the laughing loves around thy base no longer pause and press. What though about thy rim skull thinks in order grim, crow out in graver mood, obey the sterner stress. The poet here delves into the themes of aging and the inevitable changes that comes with the passage of time. The speaker contemplates the alterations in the earlier grooves that once encircled the base of the subject. The use of laughing laughs suggests a time of youthful exuberance and joy, portraying the initial stages of life marked by carefree happiness. However, the acknowledgement that these grooves no longer pause and press introduces a sense of cessation and transformation. Browning captures the transient nature of youth, emphasizing that the initial patterns of joy and mirth have evolved into a different phase. The stanza continues with a vivid image of change as the poet describes skull things in order grim, crowing out around the rim. This transformation implies the emergence of some more serious and contemplative aspects of life, marked by a graver mood. The juxtaposition of skull things with the earlier reference to laughing laughs signifies a shift from the light-heartedness of youth to the more somber reflection of age. The phrase "obey the sterner stress" suggests a yielding to the demands and challenges of life's later stages. Through this stanza, Browning explores the inevitability of change, portraying the evolving nature of human experience and the acceptance of graver realities that accompany the passage of time. Stanza 30. Look not thou down, but up, to use of a cup, the festal board, lamps flash and trumpets peal. The new wine's foaming flow, the master's lips aglow. Thou heaven's consummate cup, what needest thou with earth's wheel? In this stanza, the poet introduces a shift in perspective, advising the reader to look not down but up. This directive encourages a change in outlook from a downward gaze to an upward one, urging the observer to focus on loftier and more uplifting aspects of life. The use of the exclamation mark adds emphasis, underlining the importance of the shift in perspective. Browning invites the reader to consider the symbolic uses of a cup, associating it with celebratory occasions such as the festal board, the flash of a lamp, and the resounding peal of a trumpet. These images evoke a sense of revelry, joy, and grandeur, presenting a contrast to the contemplative tone of the preceding stanzas. The stanza concludes with a rhetorical question directed at the heavens, addressing subjects as "Thou heavens, consummate cup." This question challenges the necessity for the heavenly or divine entity to be entangled with the earthly will, symbolizing the cycle of life. The poet questions the relevance of the celestial realm portrayed as the ultimate cup in the earthly cycle. Juxtaposition of heavenly and earthly elements underscores the theme of transition and trans-contemplation on the higher purpose beyond the mundane cycles of life. Through the stanza, Browning encourages the readers to lift their gaze towards spiritual and celestial significance, transcending the temporal concerns of earthly existence. 31. But I need, now as then, thee, God, who mouldest men, and since, not even while the world was world, versed did I to the wheel of life, with shapes and colours rife, bound dizzily, mistake my end to slake thy thirst. This stanza displays the poet expressing a deep and abiding need for the divine, addressing God directly with the assertion, "But I need now, as then, thee, God, who mouldest men." This intimate appeal underscores the enduring connection between the speaker and the divine force that shapes human existence. The use of modest men suggests a divine sculptor actively involved in shaping the course of human life, emphasizing the continual need for this divine influence. The persistence of this need now as then indicates a consistent reliance on the divine throughout the speaker's journey through life. The stanza further explores the speaker's relationship with the wheel of life, a metaphor for the cycles and challenges of existence. The acknowledgement that even during the most tumultuous times, the speaker did not mistake my end emphasizes steadfastness and purpose in the clarity of vision, the vivid imagery of being bound dizzily to the wheel of life where, with its shape and colors life conveys the complexity and variety of experiences that characterize the human journey. The phrase to slake thy thirst introduces the idea that the speaker's existence, with all its twists and turns, serves a higher purpose, fulfilling a divine thirst or desire. Through this stanza, Browning explores the enduring relationship between the human soul and the divine, emphasizing a consistent reliance on God's shaping influence amid the ever changing cycles of life. Stanza 32. So take and use thy work, amend what flaws may lurk, what strain, oh the staff, what warpings past the aim. My times be in thy hand, perfect the cup as planned, let age approve of youth, and death complete the same. In the concluding stanza, the speaker addresses the divine force, presumably God, in a humble and contemplative tone. The poet employs imperatives, urging God to take and use thy work, inviting divine intervention in the ongoing process of shaping the individual. The use of the term thy work emphasizes the acknowledgement of a higher plan or design that is in the hands of the divine. The speaker expresses a willingness to surrender to the divine will, recognizing that imperfections may exist in the self and calls for God to amend what flaws may lurk. This admission of imperfections and the prayer for divine refinement reflect a sense of humility and acceptance of the ongoing process of self improvement. The speaker then uses metaphorical language describing life as the cup and implores God to perfect the cup as planned. This metaphor underscores the theme of life as a vessel that is continually shaped and refined. The prayer for God to perfect the cup echoes the earlier imagery of the cup in the 30th stanza. The reader is encouraged to look upward and consider the uses of a cup in celebratory and joyous occasion. The final lines, let age approve of youth and death, complete the same, bring the poem to a powerful resolution. Here, the speaker calls for a harmonious alignment between the different phases of life, with each approving of youth and death, completing the cycle. This serves as a poignant reflection on the cyclical nature of life and the hope for a seamless transition from one phase to another, guided by the divine hand. Poetic devices. Allusion. Browning makes use of biblical and historical references to enrich the poem's meaning. The title itself alludes to Rabbi Abraham Ben Ezra, a medieval Jewish philosopher. The poem references biblical concepts and figures such as Job and Mars to draw on a shared cultural and religious background. Metaphor. The poem is replete with metaphorical language, enhancing the depth of its themes. For example, the metaphor of a cup is employed to symbolize the human soul. The line, thou heavens consummate cup, what needest thou with the earth's wheel, metaphorically portrays the soul's relationship with worldly concerns. Paradox. Browning uses paradoxical statements to emphasize the complexities of life. The speaker finds comfort in the fact that what he aspired to be but couldn't achieve provides solace. The lines, shall life succeed in that it seems to fail what I aspire to be and what has not, comforts me, presents a paradoxical perspective on success and failure. Irony. Irony is subtly woven into the poem, especially in the speaker's reflections on aging. The notion that the later years are the best contradicts societal expectations that emphasizes youth. The iconic tone challenges conventional views on aging, suggesting a positive perspective on growing old. Imagery. Browning employs vivid and evocative imagery to convey the themes of the poem. Images of flowers, stars, and the potter's wheel are used to illustrate the transient nature of youth and the aspirations of the speaker and the shaping of one's destiny. Symbolism. The cup mentioned throughout the poem serves as a powerful symbol representing the human soul. The festal board, lamps flash, and trumpets peal symbolize moments of joy and celebration in life. The potter's wheel is a symbolic representation of life's experiences shaping an individual. Personification. Browning personifies abstract concepts to animate the poem. For instance, the line times wheel runs back or stops. Potted in clay endure personify time as a wheel and depict the enduring nature of the potter and clay, representing the eternal aspects of life. Repetition. The repetition of certain phrases and motifs, such as the refrain, grow old along with me, the best is yet to be, contributes to a rhythmic and emphatic quality. This repetition emphasizes the central themes of the poem and reinforces the speaker's message. Enjambment. Browning frequently employs enjambment, where a sentence or phrase continuously from one line to the next without a pause. This technique enhances the flow of thought and contributes to the contemplative and meditative tone of the rhetorical question. The use of rhetorical questions engages the readers and prompts reflection. For instance, the line thy body at its best, how far can that project thy soul on its lone way, encourages contemplation on the relationship between the physical and spiritual aspects of human existence. Rabbi Ben Ezra by Robert Browning explores various themes, offering profound insights into life, aging, spirituality, and the human relationships with the divine. The poem encompasses a rich tapestry of ideas, and here are some of the prominent themes from the poem. Aging and the progression of life. The poem delves deeply into the stages of life, emphasizing the values of each phase. It suggests that the later years are the culmination of a life well lived. For instance, in the lines Grow old along with me, the best is yet to be, the speaker invites the audience to consider the later years as the fulfillment of life's purpose. The purpose of life and divine plan. Browning reflects on the divine plan for human existence, emphasizing the importance of trusting in God's design. The lines, our times are in His hand, who said, I hope a whole I planned, convey the speaker's belief in a higher purpose guiding human lives. Materialism versus spirituality. The poem critiques the pursuit of worldly pleasures and material possessions, suggesting that true fulfillment lies in a spiritual connection with the divine. In lines such as Rejoice we are allied to that which doth provide, the speaker celebrates the spiritual alliance with God over mere material abundance. Embracing adversity and learning from challenges. Browning suggests that challenges and setbacks are integral to the human experience and should be embraced for personal and spiritual growth. The lines, be our choice, deep parts pain, strive and hold, keep the strain, learn and nor account the pan, dare never grudge the through, advocate for the acceptance and learning inherent in life's difficulty. The paradox of failure and success. The poem explores the paradox that failures and apparent shortcomings can lead to ultimate success and self realization. The line, Shall life succeed in that seems to fail what I aspired to be and was not, comfort me, conveys the idea that even unattained aspirations contribute to one's personal development. The finite nature of physical existence. Browning contemplates the limitations of the physical body and the transient nature of worldly pursuits. The lines, Poor want of life indeed, were men, but formed to feed on joy, to solely seek and find and feast, highlights the inadequacy of a life solely focused on material pleasure, the eternal connection with the divine. The poem celebrates the enduring connection between the human soul and God. In lines like Nearer we hold of God, who gives than office tribes that take. The speaker emphasizes the significance of receiving from God rather than merely taking from the material world. Browning weaves these themes together and presents a comprehensive exploration of the human experience, spirituality, and the intricate relationship between the temporal and the eternal aspects of life. थैंक यू। आई होप आज की वीडियो आपको अच्छी लगी। कैसी लगी आप हमें कमेंट करके ज़रूर बताएं। मिलते हैं कल एक और इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियो के साथ शाम 4 बजे, और हमें कमेंट करके ये भी बताएं कि आप आने वाले वीडियोस किस टॉपिक पर देखना चाहते हैं। अगर वीडियो अच्छी लगी तो लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब टू माई चैनल। थैंक यू।